Hey, kia ora, o tēnā koutou, o kia ora e te whānau, or kia ora koutou. What am I talking about? Why do I begin my videos with this strange language? Am I some nerd that kind of likes to speak Klingon? Okay, so the people that live in New Zealand, or Aotearoa as it should probably be called, will know exactly what I'm talking about, and will also be very aware when I get it wrong, which I frequently do. Those of you who follow me from Europe and America will possibly be a little mystified. Likewise with the word I use to sign off, Rangimarie. Okay, so all these words and phrases are from the Maori language, which is known as Te Reo Maori. Te is the, Reo is language. So sometimes in New Zealand people just refer to it as Te Reo. So if you hear people talk about Te Reo, that's what they mean. There's an alarm going by. I don't know if you can hear that. Kind of adds a bit of drama to the video. So it was pointed out to me really that I ought to explain these things really, because people might be wondering and scratching their heads. So kia ora effectively is a kia ora, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou. And it depends, the grammar depends, and the exact form of it depends on who you're talking to, whether you're talking to one person or a group of people. So effectively I'm saying hello in Maori. I'm not saying goodbye in Maori. What I'm signing off with is effectively the word peace. So Rangimarie means peace. I just think that's a lovely word. I love the word Rangimarie. And rangi tends to occur in a lot of other words, that rangi. Often kind of spiritual things, so things to do with like heaven, or things to do with leadership. So I think a teacher is a rangatira, I think, something like that. So if you're a Te Reo speaker, Maori, please don't be offended by my kind of garbled use of the language. I'm trying to learn it. I'm quite a slow learner when it comes to language. And one of the reasons that I use it, not just because I like it, it's for political reasons. That, you know, the Maori language has almost been lost. It's now coming back into popularity. More and more people are learning it. I'm very much trying to learn it. I'm not actually able to do any kind of courses or any formal learning at the moment, so I'm kind of teaching myself and picking up bits and pieces from people. There are different dialects as well, so so people, you know, Maori people might correct my pronunciation, but depending on which tribe or iwi they're from, they might kind of have a completely different way of saying things. So it's a lovely language. In some ways it's very simple. So for example, a word doesn't change whether it's single or plural. So let me say puka puka is a book. So you'd say he puka puka is a book, and na puka puka is books. So in some ways it's simple, but things like tenses I find quite complex. So a long way to go, and what I'd really like to do is make everything bilingual, really, if I can. Certainly my website, I'd like to. There's a Maori proverb which is really appropriate for the work that I do with retroactive jealousy. In a slightly amended form. So the Maori proverb is about walking backwards into the future, and what that means is taking all the ancestral and family wisdom, you know, the wisdom of your family and your lineage and your ancestors, and the established traditions, is moving into the future with those as a kind of grounding and a basis. So one of the phrases that I'd like to use as a kind of slogan for the retroactive jealousy work is it is better to walk backwards into the future than forwards into the past. So if there's any Te Reo experts out there that can translate that for me, I'd be incredibly grateful. That'd be a fantastic thing to add in. And one of the things I really love about New Zealand is it has 3 official languages. So it has English, from obviously colonised. The majority of people here are of European descent. That's a whole story in itself. We'll probably do a video on that at some point. Maori, and a form of sign language, which I think is called New Zealand Sign Language. language because there's different types of sign language. So sign language for the deaf. They are the, I'm waving my arms around. That's not sign language, by the way. That's just me waving my arms around randomly. So, you know, so I think it's great. So I will continue to make mistakes and get things wrong, and I'll continue to blunder on regardless, really, because that's the way to learn. On that note, Rangimarie.